here, and it's time for more Otaku Evolution. Be sure to like, subscribe, and contribute to my Patreon. Once again, it's time to look at that lurid larcenist, Lupin III. But this time it's a bit different, because not only does the anime I'm covering take the focus away from Lupin, but unlike most of the franchise, it's actually about something. In this case, agency. Decades after the last Lupin III TV series, Part 3, it was about time, in 2012, for Lupin to give it another go. Sure, there had been many TV specials, but they were getting a bit bland and running together plot-wise. Lupin was becoming toothless and soft. So for the 40th anniversary of the anime, and 45th anniversary of the original manga, TMS released a 13-episode serial, written by Mari Okada and directed by Sayo Yamamoto of Michigo and Hatchin fame. This made it the first Lupin series helmed by women. Character designs were done by Redline director Takeshi Koike, who would go on to directing 3 spin-off movies. The music was produced by Cowboy Bebop director Shinichiro Watanabe. The show's goal was to restore the sensuality of Monkey Punch's original manga.
Lupin III.
Oh, so you've heard the name before, have you?
As you said, I am a thief. Don't let the dress fool you. Lupin III, master thief, grandson of the original Lupin. He gives warning before every crime he commits. And he always gets what he's after.
The series is a prequel to Lupin III Part 1, taking place in an unknown time, presumably in the late 60s to early 70s, before the Lupin gang was completely formed. Actually, at the beginning of this series, Fujiko is just meeting Lupin, though he's already a well-known super thief. So it serves as an origin story, similar to Episode 0 First Contact. The show reveals the time period's age by referencing the Cold War, MKUltra, Fidel Castro, psychedelic drugs, and Disney. Technology is only so advanced, at least until the last episode. The artwork is very angular and has a sketch-like quality with shadow lines. It gives the impression of a manga come to life, and in some ways resembles some of Monkey Punch's darker chapters of Lupin, both in form and tone, though in the manga there's much more levity. It definitely doesn't look or move like most previous Lupin works. It fits the often much more serious or sensual subject matter.
I have to go now.
Again, I'm not saying it's just like the manga. I've read plenty of the manga. This show is darker and more complex. But it has the often mean-spirited, sneering cynicism of the manga. Monkey Punch wrote with a variety of tones, so the tone varied from chapter to chapter. The woman called Fujiko Mine is more than all that. And because of that, it's probably my favorite piece of Lupin media.
I don't have any special psychic powers. So how about you tell me, why are you killing the people I've stolen from?
Please, you don't understand what you're talking about.
If you're not gonna talk, then I'm afraid we're all done here.
The woman called Fujiko Mine asks the question, just who is this Fujiko person anyway? Why does this bitch have the audacity? What makes this baddie tick? The thrill of a big score? Or something more personal and deep? And what are her relationships with her future teammates, Notorious Lupin, gunman and reluctant participant Jigen, and living anachronism, the samurai Goemon? Oh, and Zenigata's there too. Obsessed with capturing Lupin as usual. And with a partner named Oscar in tow, who's really extra.
Inspector! Inspector! I'm so glad you're okay. I was afraid I had lost you.
What are you talking about?
Oh no.
Fujiko, as usual, is always mixed up in some con or caper, taking on different identities and roles, but always looking out for number one in the long run. Lupin sees her as charming, Jigen as troublesome, Goemon as his girlfriend? Zenigata as a tool. and Oscar as a conniving pig woman who brazenly uses her feminine wiles to indulge in depravity. But how does Fujiko see herself? And what are these memories she keeps getting about being the subject of experiments as a child? Is there a deep-seated trauma that drives Fujiko to endlessly chase the high of being a thief? She's not even entirely sure herself, it seems, all the more as she's being manipulated by greater forces at work.
Fräulein Euler. Fräulein Euler. The owl of Minerva takes flight only when the shades of night are gathering.
Why, thank you, Hegel.
Tell me then, Lupin III, when does the butterfly take flight?
I really don't care.
When Napoleon was in his prime, Hegel referred to him as the soul of the world.
Yes, apparently Fujiko has piqued the interest of the Court of Owls. I mean Glaucus Pharmaceuticals, who watch her every move and maneuver behind the scenes to make Fujiko's life more of a hassle. This puzzling parliament of puppeteers will stop at nothing to push Fujiko to the edge. Because of this, many others are caught up in the whirlwind that is Fujiko, and the mystery behind her past compounds with others. For that, even standalone adventures tie into a greater tapestry, so nothing is entirely trivial.
Well, that's that. I wonder whose blood is going to dye those pretty feathers of yours crimson. Huh? Hey, what's going on?
So, scorpion blood is blue, huh? Learn something new every day.
Lupin! But...
Speaking of the individual episodes, there are definitely stronger and weaker ones in the series. Lupin with Fujiko and Jigen's introduction episodes are better than Goemon's, for instance. I think the weakest episode is probably the one with the Castro XP, but even that featured Goemon cutting missiles in half with his Zentetsuken as he stood atop a flying biplane. I'm a little mixed on the episode where Lupin meets Jigen, which is a little weak until the final act. Another one I wasn't impressed with was the Phantom of the Opera one.
Was that Lupin?
Lights!
Tosca isn't for everyone.
However, there are also several especially enthralling ones. The episode with the prognosticator who tells people their dying days is fantastic. So is the one where Fujiko attempts to hunt down the tattooed lady that Lupin and Jigen are protecting. There's the episode where you can't tell whether it's a dream of Lupin's or not, where we get a lot of backstory about Glaucus. Then there's the two-part finale that's full of twists and drama. Your mileage may vary. Some of these are my favorite episodes of any Lupin show I've ever seen.
Stop! Oh, please, no!
And all through this, there's the Thoroughfare, the long-running main narrative about Fujiko's past, which features surreal, often disturbing imagery. Come to think of it, the ending credits feature what appears to be a child Fujiko in different stages of undress, leading the viewer to conclude an implied darker past than we're given sight of. By the time the story is over, you'll never want to see owls again.
It isn't a dream. But does that mean it's real?
Fräulein Euler.
Or is this nightmare just another installment in the tale of a woman called Fujiko Mine?
Personally, I prefer when owls are singing about the Muna and the Juna and the Springa. Anyway, you can't really talk about the main theme of this show without spoiling it completely. So if you haven't seen this, please skip to later in the video. Through the series, the traumatizing memories Fujiko experiences threaten to derail her life. But the conclusion reveals that what she's experiencing aren't her own memories at all, but that of a girl named Aisha. The head of Glaucus Pharmaceuticals, Louis U. Almeida, took her from her father, one of his lab employees, and experimented on her to turn her into a perfect maiden for him. This ultimately led Aisha to becoming bedridden and unable to communicate except through a machine. When Almeida died, Aisha continued experimentations on his behalf, implanting her memories in girls who couldn't handle them and ended up taking their own lives. However, when Fujiko, who attempted to infiltrate the organization as a maid, was captured and implanted with the memories, she went on to doing whatever she pleased. She had locked the bad memories of Aisha away until reminded of them by the machinations of Glaucus. This angered jealous Aisha, who made it her mission to destroy Fujiko mentally. She had mistakenly believed that Fujiko was thriving in the life she deserved. But Fujiko had always just done what she does. She was always the woman called Fujiko Mine. So, yeah. All those traumatizing experiences that supposedly explain Fujiko's behavior?
Fake.
When I first saw this ending, I was pretty unimpressed. I was just getting used to the idea that Fujiko acted the way she did because of a dark, damaging past, when they just yanked it away and told us none of that really mattered. It's almost like they chickened out in the end to return things to the usual status quo of the Lupin franchise. I'd been reviewing the series on my blog and didn't even bother writing a review for the final episode. I was so turned off. But thinking about it, and upon further rewatches, I now see the revelation for what it was. It was intended to be empowering. Fujiko isn't the product of a disturbing upbringing. She's the way she is because she wants to be. You see, the show is all about her regaining her agency, about reclaiming her story from others who would control the narrative. It's actually a pretty brilliant piece of metafiction. Women wrote and directed this series, seizing control of Fujiko from a usually completely male perspective on the character. This is why I say The Woman Called Fujiko Mine is rare, because it's actually about something. It has something to say other than just fun hijinks. Don't get me wrong, I love me some wacky Lupin hijinks, but this show has those and something else. It's special, and with every new viewing it becomes a more enriching experience. Plus, we get to see Fujiko's tits a bunch, and that's always neat. Look, I'm no expert on film and or television, and there are certain narratives in this series that I don't feel qualified to talk about. If you want a long, thorough video essay on this series, you'll just have to wait for Infinite Snow Productions' Delaney Jordan to put out her sure-to-be brilliant video on this. I just wanted to introduce the viewers to the basics of the series, then talk a bit about the finale. I've been a huge Lupin III fan for years now, having reviewed several titles in the franchise for these videos. And I'll continue to do so next year too, and probably as long as I do Otaku Evolution. I hope that whether you're a longtime viewer of my Lupin videos or were just interested in this particular one, you understand why I enjoy this title above pretty much anything else in the franchise. It's remarkable anime like The Woman Called Fujiko Mine that makes me appreciate anime. If only they'd do something like this again for Lupin.
Fräulein Euler, Fräulein Euler. What a magnificent twilight. Perfect for the end.
Shut up. I know you're dead, Doctor. You're not real. None of this is. It's all just a tale.
A tale with no salvation.
You can find The Woman Called Fujiko Mine on Blu-ray from Discotheque. Well, that was fun. And there's only 2 videos left this year, so let's have fun next time too, with a list of my favorite anime fights. Until then, see ya!
I love to sing about the moon and the June and the spring. I love to sing about a sky of blue or a T for two, anything with a swing to, and I love you.